What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. With this video, we are jumping into Legion of X issue number 3. And so far, the Legion of X, it really has been a ton of fun, because not only is this exploring Krakoa and everything else, it's also exploring the astral plane, the dreamscapes. And while the altar had been created to really be a safe haven for all mutant kind, not only mutant kind, but it's really an invitation to everybody. The only problem is the Skinjacker, the mutant known as Switch, taking over people's bodies left and right. Nightcrawler has been on the hunt to find this individual. That is, until he got sidetracked with a mission with Weaponless Zsen. Her mission is to find the Arakkii god, the one that they are referring to as the god of mischief. Now, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we have Pixie, who is bringing down what appears to be Doctor Strange. Not really sure how he is here or even why he is here. The first person to meet him is Pixie. And so while Pixie is greeting Doctor Strange, we have Weaponless Zsen, who is having a conversation with Ora. That is the one-eyed giant mutant from Arakkii, also referred to as the Arbitrix. And the Arbitrix right now is very upset with the fact that Weaponless Zsen has not found this god that has gone on the warpath, that has fled Arakkii. But Weaponless Zsen is also let known that if you complete this mission, you will be free to do whatever you please. You no longer have to work on this guard that you have been on. She has longed for the battlefield, to go with the mercenary bands of Arakkii people, ones going out looking for war, looking for trouble. But if she fails in her task, she will face destruction. And this is what takes us to the beach. This is the boundary between the astral plane and the altar. Having no luck finding this mysterious god, they believe that they can go into the astral plane and maybe, just maybe, they can find something there, some kind of clue that will point them in the right direction. With Blindfold being their guide through the astral plane, we see the three take off and David stays behind. But while he stays behind, looking off not too far in the distance, this is where we see Juggernaut, sitting here by himself looking relatively depressed. And so while David goes to have a conversation with him, we see that Switch just jumped into Doctor Strange's body, believing now he is the Sorcerer Supreme, believing that he has unlimited power. He quickly realizes that this was a trap. Pixie set this up. This was no Doctor Strange. This was just an illusion. And now they have him trapped inside of a canister, one filled with runes that will not let him out. But this is just his projection. They still have to find the physical body of Switch. Lucky for Kurt and the others, Switch's body will just be laying there, his consciousness no longer connected to his body. Now this is where we get the conversation between Juggernaut and David. Legion coming up to him and asking, what is wrong with you? What's going on? As he sits here and cries, he believes that he might be broken. The truth is, when the Skinjacker was inside of his body, it may have only been 5 minutes, but for him it felt like an eternity. And he was in some kind of very dark place, someplace cold. At this point, he has never felt so weak in his life, so freaking helpless. Now Legion, he suggests, why don't you go to Professor Xavier? You being part of his fan club, like why wouldn't you go to him and have him help you with this situation? The problem is, Professor X, his help comes with attachments. Cause Professor X, he could cut the memory out, cut it out altogether and let him just live his life. But first, he would have to quit the Legion. This is something Professor X has been gunning for, not wanting him on the Legion force. But when it comes to the altar, Professor X, he doesn't really have that much power, not that much sway. Now, of course, he told him that he's gonna think about it. And this is when Legion goes to show him something. What we see is the mutant that we thought was a murderer, believed to have killed his wife and fled to Krakoa. This is what they refer to as the Congression. Here in the altar, Dust's ability to control billions of points, it really can be repurposed as a psychic network. What we learn is that Paule's wife, she had died in her sleep, having cancer, all of this stuff. She knew the risk and she wanted to stay with him. And so what they are saying is that the cops blamed him anyway for the death. Now, I don't know how believable that is. Like, I know cops get a bad rap these days, but this lady had cancer, she had an illness, a tumor growing in her lung, and then she dies in her sleep. Now, I'm not a detective, but if I'm coming on scene, what cop in their right mind would say that this guy is guilty of murdering his wife? I think they could have done this in a much better way. In the way it's written, it just comes off as like you don't like cops. At least that's my takeaway from it. But what they're showing him is that this is an opportunity for people to really become somebody new. That we can bear all of your truths, all of your secrets, and we can find out who you truly are. Now, Professor Xavier, they would throw him into the pit. Without knowing this information, they would just throw him in. But then we have Skinjacker, now encapsulated inside of this urn filled with runes. By the rules of Krakoa, by the laws that they have laid down, he has broken none of them. And so Professor Xavier would say that he is allowed to roam free and continue doing everything that he has done. Continue making people feel exactly how the Juggernaut currently is feeling. We also learned that Pixie is currently on the trail of Skinjacker, looking for the physical body of Switch. Not really sure where he is, being able to use magic to hide. No one really understands how he is using this magic, where he got this magic from, but it will only be a matter of time before they locate him. But Legion is really just telling the Juggernaut, you have two options laid before you. You can follow Professor Xavier. His way will always be control, or you can decide not to quit. Now, this is where we jump into the dreams of Krakoa, the island, its people, the echoes of their mind, but also saying that they need to stay close together. This place, it's a reflecting pool for thoughts, beliefs, and ideas alike, with minds being like magnets. The richest iron lies in fears and fantasies. These things will be drawn to you. As some of these little energy blasts start hitting them, they're trying to figure out what this is, grabbing each other close. We see a fantasy, and that is Nightcrawler's fantasy to be with Weaponless Zsen. But then we also see the form taken of him having faith. In this astral plane, they continuously get divided up. Weaponless Zsen out here just fighting through the battles. Though this is no fear of her, this is a fantasy. She dreams of the days that she can be back on the battlefield, killing all of the demons. That's when she grabs hold of Nightcrawler and she kisses him. This is no projection, this is no fantasy. She is kissing him. That's when Blindfold lets it be known that they have made it. Looking up ahead, there is some kind of magic. It is tweaking probabilities, changing hearts. It started to glow when he was speaking of faith. This is undoubtedly the work of a god, and it's centering around something or someone. That is where we pick up with Pixie on Krakoa. She is currently facing off an individual that looks a hell of a lot like Loki, telling Pixie that she shall not pass, making some wonderful Lord of the Ring references. Pixie lets it be known that there is nothing that is going to stop her. She knows that this is some kind of illusion, not knowing who this is or what this is about. She has a mission to find Switch, and nothing is going to stand in her way. This is when she gets surrounded by all kinds of craziness. She easily is able to tell that this is illusionist power, telling this illusionist that you have to stop, trying to track down a psychic parasite who has been hiding using magic, probably getting this magic from sacrificing a god. And that is when the Juggernaut comes barreling in, grabbing hold of Pixie and making making his way through all of these illusions. These illusions just so happen to have some kind of physical form to them. And so having her to safety, that's where we pick up with Nightcrawler, Zsen, and Blindfold. As they watch everything that had transpired, they saw this weird god try to interfere with Pixie finding the body to switch. This is when they finally connect the pieces. They were convinced that the deity had some kind of acolyte on Krakoa. This explains why Switch suddenly uses magic, boosting his powers, avoiding detection, even outgunning a sorceress like Pixie. The god's new worshipper is Switch. The Skinjacker and the fugitive deity, they are the same case. This is when things start to go a little bit sideways inside the astral plane. These little demon versions of Nightcrawler, they start multiplying, start attacking and swarming him, unable to teleport. Everything starts eating at them, their worst fears possible, looking like they might be doomed. This is when something comes flying by, clearing out all of this fear. That is where we see Banshee, and that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really have been enjoying Legion of X because it's exploring the astral plane, the psychic realms of what Krakoa is. Because yes, you have the physical world, you have Krakoa, the island, the rest of humanity on Earth, so on and so forth. But there is so much more to Krakoa. We still have yet to explore the heaven of Krakoa. We have got to see the hell of Krakoa, we have got to see the altar, the astral plane, and that's why Legion of X is so much fun, because we get to jump into the dreamscapes of Krakoa. A place where their collected information, their collected knowledge, all of it can be found right there in that one spot. Yes, resurrection is an absolutely phenomenal feat for mutant kind, but being able to access this plane of existence so easily, I think is a far superior feat. Legion truly has come in and just changed the freaking game. And at this point, I think it's fair to say that that god is freaking Loki. Like, there's no other explanation. Why would he wear a helmet exactly like Loki's helmet? Why would they call him the god of mischief? Now, Nightcrawler and them, they haven't seemed to figure out that this is in fact Loki, which is very surprising to me, but I have no doubt that this is Loki. This isn't some Arakkii god. Loki has come to torment the mutants. Not really sure what his end goal is going to be. Having one acolyte, being able to bestow upon him some magical power, this enhances his mutant ability. If more people learn that if they go to this god, their powers can be enhanced, can be doubled, how many followers do we think that Loki can actually get? Because unlike Exodus, Loki seems to be sharing magic with them, which makes it a much more promising avenue. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with Legion of X. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, make sure that you've rung that notification bell, and until the next breakdown.